Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening live to On the Move Unscripted with your host, Patricia M. Goins and Mr. Stout on www.blogtalkradio.com/Patricia Goins. Call in now. We're live at 516-387-1247.
This is your boy, Bad Boy Billy Sly. Whether I'm just chilling in the studio or kissing a leading lady or out on the street promoting our new CD, Kenny G Wall of Bass, no matter how you play it, I'm down with Patricia and Mr. Stout on the Move Unscripted, baby.
What's going on? You have tuned in to another episode of On the Move Unscripted with Patricia M. Goins.
Mr. Stout, what it do?
What's going on?
Wow. Seems so long ago. Like,
okay, so we on summer break / come on sometimes / you understand.
Right. We're
going to get better. We're going to get back into the groove. We're enjoying our summer.
Yes, we are.
Oh, my gosh. We just been doing all kind of stuff. This past Saturday, the Columbus, Ohio had their annual Rib Fest.
Yes.
And your girl Stephanie Mills tore it down in the freaking Billy, baby.
She got me listening to all them joints at work, yo. Took it back to the 70s. Doing it with some bell bottoms, mom.
Wait a minute, her son. All of her background singers in the band was the bomb, but her son.
Yes.
Did you say he had been singing with her since he was like 19 or something like that?
Yeah, incredible.
Her son's out there, and I'm like,
really?
Stephanie, for real?
Right, where's his album at? Why we don't know who this kid is? Like,
I didn't even catch his name, but my lips almost fell to the ground. It was packed that day.
It was very crowded, and it was nice, and we thought it was going to rain, but the rain went by, and it was just a really nice night.
Yeah, I was praying. I was seeing that black cloud. I'm like, Lord, please. I've been standing in this line to get these daggone ribs and briskets for a long time. Please, Lord, don't let it rain on my head.
Right.
I was in that line for, what you said, an hour and a half. It was good, though. It was good. Yeah. But an hour and a half, I was just like, oh, my gosh. And I really wanted a slushie so bad. But I just didn't. I did not have another hour and a half in me.
Yeah, like still waiting, like you at Disney or something for something to eat.
You know what? I was so excited and happy because I was like, oh my goodness, we had this whole big event in the heat with everybody drinking their little stuff, whatever, and nobody acted up. But I guess the kids outside the gate acted up.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah, they had a little issue or something. Yeah.
Grown folks, we ain't got time for all that.
Everybody, they was starting to leave. It was like, look. Before she started singing the last song, like they getting up out of there. They knew what was going to be with the traffic. And
Grandma, auntie don't play around.
They was wrapping it up. She was like, where everybody going? She's doing the finale.
Right, but it was awesome and amazing.
I think they do the Ohio Fair. Is that coming up too?
Yeah, that's coming up.
This weekend.
Is it this weekend?
I think the 27th.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to. We got to get there.
Yeah.
And then we had some different events that we went to this weekend. We actually went to I guess it wasn't really a barbecue because there wasn't nobody grilling, but I just called it a backyard barbecue because it was like an event, right?
Right.
At an attorney's house, right? Yes. And so we went and OMG.
Yeah.
The band, and I found out the name. It's the William Brady Band.
Okay, yeah.
So the William Brady Band performed, right, at this private event, and when I say they acted a freaking fool, like it was the bomb digger, I was up there like, hey! They were playing all the jams, hey! Yes. And their singer, they had a background singer. I think her name is Midi or Mighty, Midi. I don't know, but our next guest, because when they finished doing all that, I had to get up and find somebody to interview and really, introduce them to our listeners and the people who follow us, and especially those in Columbus, Ohio. Like, if y'all got an event coming up, y'all need to get them. So we have Mr. Norman B. Whiteside on the line. So hold on one second.
Right, yeah. We're going to bring him. Yeah, we got Norman Whiteside with us. The William Brady Band.
A couple of numbers, we're going to break into one right here.
All right, we're going to make sure we got the number.
All right.
Hey.
Here's Mr. Whiteside.
You got Mr. Whiteside right now? All right, we got him.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Hello, I hear you well.
Okay, great.
How are you doing?
I'm doing better than good and better than most. I'm still blessed by the best despite all the mess, even when I'm hated by the rest.
Come on with that. Come on with that. We should have recorded that.
We did.
Oh, yeah, we did. So, I'm so excited to have you on the Move Unscripted with me and Mr. Stout. Like, when I saw your band, the William Brady Band, when I saw y'all perform, and then y'all had the young lady, how do you pronounce her name? What's her name?
They pronounce it Mitty. First name is Kanisha, and I still have a problem pronouncing her name. But Mitty, just like the MIDI port in a keyboard that transforms other keyboards. Yeah, just like that.
Well, she told me that it was like y'all was trying to see if she was going to be a good fit. And when she finished, I said, oh, yeah, she's a good fit.
Yeah, she sounds great.
Great. We think so.
What was she about to say?
I'm sorry. I was
no, I was
she's,
just gonna say she was awesome.
Okay, well, she's very, very, very good, very good. But even the our primary vocalist, Miss Priscilla Woodson, she, I wish you would have had an opportunity to listen to her as well, because she brings another type of energy. It's almost like they would say equal in force but opposite in direction.
Oh wow.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
You get it.
Well, and then the guitarist. What was the guitarist's name with all the lights and stuff on the electric guitar? What was his name?
Now that was the bass guitarist. That was Mr. Drew Williams. Yes.
Right. He did that darn thing.
He was a personal friend of the host of that backyard party, and also he's I forget the name of the church, but he's a regular church member at a church on the east side, and so he comes from Virginia, and he's been here probably about a year, and so he's quite the quite the bassist. Yes, ma'am.
Love it.
That is awesome and amazing. So I see the lights lighting up.
I think we got a couple of callers on here.
I saw. I may have already. No, but you know what? Before we get into, well, I don't know if you want to. This might be somebody that has seen his performance, or it may be someone who actually knows Mr. Norman personally, or has followed him, because you have a very interesting story, and your story really grabbed me, like how you even got into music and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to get into that. But we have a caller, so I got a question for you. Do you want to give us a quick Yellow Brick Road type quick synopsis of who you are, or you want us to bring on the caller and then go into it? It's all on you. What you want to do?
You can bring in the caller and we'll go from there.
All right, we're gonna bring on the caller.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna bring on the caller.
On the Move Unscripted. Here we go.
I love y'all.
What we got on the line?
I'm a bud you. I'm going to blow your phone up. I promise you.
Okay, I think we got somebody having a phone or a conversation going on.
Hello, caller.
You on the Move Unscripted?
Yeah, we're going to skip some time. All right.
Well, it is on the Move Unscripted, guys. Look, we getting all of that. All right. You said
she was talking when she talking to me. She was around the corner about the way. She didn't even know. But you know what? That's what makes our show fun.
Yeah.
Because we're completely raw, unscripted, uncut, uncensored. We don't care.
Right.
So just relax yourself and just tell us, who is Norman B. Whiteside? Please take us down a Yellow Brick Road like Dorothy.
Okay, if I could do a Yellow Brick Road. I was born to the fifth daughter of a prominent Baptist minister back in March of 1953. Moved around in Columbus for quite a while. When I got my first transistor radio, heard a country song called Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, and was fascinated by the sound coming out of this radio, and I knew then that I wanted to do something like that. Fast forward to I was beating on some boxes and some pie pans because the family obviously couldn't afford any drums, but I thought I was going to end up being a drummer. And my mom saw that I was not going to depart from playing on her pots and pans and old Scott tissue boxes, whatever I could beat on. and she bought me a little red Norma, and that was the name of the drum set. It was a Norma drum set, and it had one tom, one bass drum, a snare, a hi-hat, and one cymbal. And I can recall like going back and forth, just putting records on the stereo. They called it the hi-fi then. Putting a record in and just beating the drums to the stereo. And then at some point I had a cousin who played the piano or organ, and another cousin who played the guitar. So we decided to form a little combo. Didn't have a name. So one day we were playing a song, or trying to play a song by Otis Redding, and I heard what appeared to be the wrong chord playing. So I told my cousin, that isn't what he's playing. And my cousin told me, he says, you're the drummer, you're the dummy of the group, so you just hold the beat and don't let me and let us worry about the if it's on the right key or not. So I'm saying, well, it's still on the right, I mean, it's still in the wrong key, and you're still playing, and so I said, okay, the dummy, huh? So I sought out to play the piano, and so what I had to do, my aunt was the only one in the family who had a piano that I had a shot of even messing with. So her husband owned a landscaping company, cut grass and everything for several realtors in the area. So I agreed to work with his company in the summertime from 7 in the morning to 4 at night, so that I could have access to their piano from 5 until 9. And that was their
right there. Let me just say this and interject. See, that generation right there, they worked for what they wanted. They put out a plan. It's like, I'm going to learn how to play this piano, and if I got to work to do it, I'm going to do it. You understand that? Y'all, Generation Z and Generation X.
That's right. That is right. And, back then, when you were able to afford a piano and a record player and the records to play on the record player, you were said to be living large. So my aunt had the record player, they had the records and the piano. So true to form, from 5 to 9, I would sit down. And the first song that I tried to mess with was the other side of My Cherie Amour, which was I Don't Know Why I Love You by Stevie Wonder. And so, yeah, so I don't know what it was about this particular song, I Don't Know Why I Love You, but it told me something about who I was, what my future was going to be, especially being at that time, or even still now, a very, very shy person. And I could see myself.
How old were you?
At that time, I was 15.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 15.
You learned how to. So you self-taught yourself how to play the piano at 15.
Yes. Obviously I couldn't. We couldn't afford for me to take lessons, and so I had to listen to the records and try to figure it out. I developed a particular style of playing that causes my pinky finger and my right to stick up in the air because it was always in the way. So I tied a string around my neck and then tied it around the finger so it wouldn't get in the way. So when people see me playing, they'll see that finger up in the air and says, like, what's up with that? because it very seldom hits the keyboard. Because
so how
it was
long
at
did
the
you
time.
and your band? How long did you and the band play together? Your first band. How long did y'all play together?
We got together on the weekend, and we how back then you did the family barbecues. All the family got together. All the doors was always open, and somebody in the family was cooking or doing something. And my mom, dad, they dragged the drums over to whoever's house. The organ that Andrew was using was a little M&E, so it could just be carried with a minimal difficulty. The guitar that Jimmy had was a Kent guitar, so in other words, you could just take all the equipment and move it in one set. The drums were the hardest things to take or to set up. But we were together for a few months, and then before I lost interest and just spent all my time at the piano, working, cutting lawns, trimming hedges, cleaning out houses during the day, and then at night there from 5 to 9 with that piano for almost a straight year. In the wintertime, it was about shoveling snow, but I could not have this piano taken away from me. So it was. Go ahead.
So I'm just curious. So when did you start playing for other people, by yourself at this point?
Oh well, one day my mom came over to visit her sister, my aunt, and she heard somebody playing the piano. She says, well, "Who's that playing the piano?" Is that they said, "Well, Andrew's gotten a lot better." He says, "Well, that's not Andrew, that's your son, right?" And so she was so happy that she had me come to the church and play the song that I was playing at the house. It was called Exodus, and I played it for the first time in the church, and that's when everybody realized, outside of my aunt, that I could play the piano. And when I got that church standing ovation, I turned around and looked at Andrew and said, now who's the dummy? I can play the drums and the keyboard.
Right. Right.
But I think if he go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, if he hadn't made that comment, I'd probably be a drummer to this day.
All right.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, because you can play that piano. So let's slide on down a little bit further down the Yellow Brick Road and tell us what brought you to April 3rd, 1985. Like, what happened, or how old were you? Like, what led you to having to do 31 years in prison?
At that time, I had just turned 32 years old 3 days before that. And then you have to go back a little bit, and because it's musically related too. We got a band called We. It was already established as We, and I took some of the members and started. I wanted somebody. To me, it seemed like all of the Columbus musicians, they wanted to do everybody else's material, and I wanted to write my own material. I wanted to write and produce my own material. I didn't want to be like everybody else. And so when I did all types of things to get in the studio, to learn what the studio is about. I could even remember calling myself buying a cassette recorder, a reel-to-reel, just trying to make some things happen musically. And what happened is that I got to a point where I thought, well, hey, we're about to be able to do something. I got some people to start listening to what we were doing, and so I put the band's money in the City National Bank, and we were about we had negotiated something to do a tour with the group Wild Cherry. And if you know anything about promotional tours, when you do a promotional tour, a lot of people think, well, if you're opening up for Wild Cherry, that you're getting a lot of money. They don't know that a lot of times that a band will pay for a promotional tour so that they could get exposure by working with another band. And you have to pay for that. Huh?
Right. Yeah.
I said even back then, they were doing that even back then. They still do that now.
Yes.
Like a lot of artists and musicians and stuff, when they're unknown, they pay for their slots. So they were even doing that back then.
And so,
this would have been in the 80s.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Right. This was, yes, ma'am. We're talking about the 70s.
Oh, this was in the 70s.
Oh, Wild Cherry, yeah. So they had music back then, too, yeah.
It's in the 70s. Okay, and so at that time, when that was going on and we were trying to get this tour, the computers were still young, and the bank lost the band's money through a computer error and misplaced it or whatever. So when we got ready to do the tour, there was no money to finance the tour. And so they didn't, the Parisi brothers, who were out of Lorain, Ohio, that's who Wild Cherry was, they didn't, we couldn't make the cut with them. And so I was so upset, I went to see a lawyer about suing the bank, and the lawyer told me, you can't sue the king. I said, well, I'm not trying to sue the king. I'm trying to sue the bank. And he explained to me that meant you can't sue anybody with that kind of money and expect to win. And I'm saying, well, what to do? Because at that time, even some of the band members thought, oh, Norman stole the money. The bank ain't lost no money. He stole the money. And so I was so upset and so hot-headed, I decided, well, I'm going to pay the bank back. And that's when I started started studying banking and studying the process, and started and taught myself how to commit bank fraud on a big scale. And it was the thing about being vindictive. And in the first year, everybody was trying. All the police, they had profiled me as being a 48-year-old white guy, because they said that young black people don't think like whoever is behind this, like this degree of bank fraud. And they were saying, well, like here in a time when there were no computers, here's this young, like barely 21-year-old guy who's got a crew that's knocking down, like a couple $100,000 a year, and a couple $100,000 a year at that time was a whole lot of money. And it became an obsession to just stick it to the person that stuck it to me. And so that was the prelude to the criminal life. I got I was I mean, these people, in my estimation, they stole my dream. They stole my opportunities, and everybody was telling me, well, you just gotta let God deal with him. Hold up, he's taking too long, and he's not making me any less angry. So
they gave you 31 years for bank fraud?
No. Now, I went to prison a time prior to April the 3rd. I spent 11 months in prison, and then I got out of prison, and cranked up the operation again. Okay, so I mean, I'm still upset. I mean, this is how I was about music. I just, I was just so upset about this thing. Up until the April 3rd thing, I was doing a whole lot. I was being extra, as they say, and then like around that time, I was dealing with some people just. And one of the persons, they were into selling drugs and everything, and a lot of times the money that I got from bank fraud, I financed drug dealers. I didn't deal with drugs, but I financed them. Right, if they needed some money, I would front them money. And in
you
one
was
of
the
the
bank. You was the bank in the hood.
I'm the bank now.
You was the payload in the hood.
I was the hood bank. Also, I was the one that like when I was the face changer. That is when people wanted to leave the country and they were on parole or probation or something. I was the one that would supply them with fake ID.
You had a $1 million corporation. He wasn't just he was living wow.
It was that kind of life. It was. I mean, and it was. And it had gotten in the way of even with the music, because people were wondering like what's going on with him. I was because you meet just as many glamorous people in the underworld, and you all of the people that you read about, like the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the prostitutes, the gangsters. I mean, it was like they would come from across country to get their face changed. Hey, I need some ID, or I mean, sometimes to leave the country, sometimes to go in banks, sometimes I mean, just to all kind of scams and everything. So
I'm curious, was this the 80s still? Was this the 80s still or the 70s?
Yeah,
when this went on from 79 to 85 up to it was I had what you call a really, really good run. A really good run. You had an empire going. You had an afro and everything to go. Bell bottom.
Love the jacket.
I had my own airlines. What I would do, I had people like if for instance somebody want to go to Port-au-Prince, Haiti. At that time, a ticket to Port-au-Prince, Haiti would cost $900. Well, I would sell it to them for $250, guarantee them a round trip without the police arresting them at the airport. So
the whole thing. His best life.
Trying to find out where this book
at. He was living his best life. So I imagine that in that kind of a world and in that kind of environment, things probably got dangerous at times, right?
It got dangerous, but even then, just like now, everything operates on respect and loyalty. Everything operated like that. Typically, people who looked at a certain kind of danger, they created that danger. They asked that danger. Another thing that I didn't do, I did not flaunt. If I had a lot of money in my pocket, you would never know it. I didn't dress like I didn't put on bright orange suits and say, look at me.
That's the 80s, right? Everybody wearing
the fish and the fist and the high heels. in the hills of the what they
right. Well, you I'm gonna get you sucker right. I'm gonna get you sucker right. No, I was very modest, because the one thing that I learned even about like criminal behavior is that, like, when it came down to breaking and entering and burglary and all that stuff, people only went in places that they already knew what was in there. That, you know, if they broke in your house, you let them in there. You are the one that let them in there to see what you had. And I realized that too many people were too busy trying to show everybody else what they had. Even today, when I look at some of the stories about the rappers who they go into the bling, and once they get out of the neighborhood, they go back to that neighborhood where you created all this jealousy and think that you're going to leave there with your gold. No. Wow. It's and I believe that that's what happens a lot of times. That like that when people they get something and they just got to show it, they can't just keep their mouth shut, or they gotta go make somebody jealous. And jealousy, that thing, once that thing sets in, it sets in something in motion, you know. And I tried to be humble no matter what. If somebody thought that they were going to, you know, you didn't have to rob me, because if I had it, I'd give it to you. You know, and people knew I had that kind of reputation. You don't have to do anything to him. If he's got whatever it is you need, he will give it to you. And that was my reputation. And then I had that loyalty and the respect. Go ahead.
So when I was reading your bio, you said that the police tried to convict you of attempted murder, but it was false. Like they tried to frame.
They knew that you didn't commit the crime.
Is that right?
Right. Well, exactly. That's what happened, because when this there was a couple of the gang the drug factions that were arguing over some drug turf. One was from Cleveland, one was from Columbus, and so there was a shootout on the corner of Broad and Winter. Well, I wasn't there. I wasn't there when all of this kind of stuff happened. But then, like, I knew that one of the guns was probably involved, because, like, one of my partners gave the person who did the accidental shooting the gun. I had a problem being compassionate, and so I was looking at the news, and I saw where this man had lost his daughter, and me having daughters myself, I mean, I felt for the guy, and I was asking the folks in the crew, it says, like, who was responsible for killing that little girl? You know, you need to straighten your hand. And so when it was determined who it was that was involved, the cops wanted me to just point him out and say, you know, hey, this was him. I refused to do it, even though they knew that I knew. So what they did is they indicted me for conspiracy.
Oh, they thank you for not being a snitch. I'm glad it happened in 23, because these snitches is coming up early. They just tell us everything. They for little stuff. So they wanted you to snitch, and because you didn't snitch, they try to stick it on you.
Well, and so, I mean, no, they didn't try to. They did. And
they did.
The next thing you know, they knew, and so they had fabricated a story about me masterminding the purchase of the murder weapon, and then the judge said that, like, even if Norman wasn't there he, unlike 99% of the criminals out here, he has imagination, and that's the scary thing about him. He says, he told him in one interview, he says, I was the only person worse than me that he has met in his career was Charles Manson. This was even stated in a magazine article. And so the parole board, these people, they're going to believe what judges and prosecutors say.
Right.
And so for the longest, from I stayed in prison, and then
that's when I found out.
Huh?
You never told. You never told who was.
I know, and even when they brought me to court, and they had the guy there who had pulled the trigger. They were trying to go through the story. They brought me in front of the jury in chains. I was chained up and so they told me then, he says, if you just point him out, you can go home right now. If you just say that's him, you can go home right now. And I told him in that courtroom as I looked at the guy in the chair, the funny part is the trigger man was the only one who didn't get convicted.
Wow.
Something.
Because
that comes from that loyalty of being in the streets and being told
they needed my testimony to put him in prison. And I told him, all that means is that you're going to after I do what it is you want me to do, you're just going to add another one to the pot. I say if they say, well, you'll never leave prison alive. So, make yourself comfortable, that sense of loyalty. I mean, it's not here now, but things are coming around where
they will snitch on you over some peanut butter.
No way.
See, and I tell people all the time, there's a difference between a block watch and a snitch.
Yeah.
See, here's the difference. A snitch is somebody who was involved with you in the crime, and then when somebody gets caught, he or she tries to tell so that they can get out of it themselves, right? Now, a block watch, they seen you kill somebody's baby, and they went to the prosecutor, and they said, he did it. I saw him do it. That man or that woman did not snitch. They sit up there and tried to bring closure to some grieving mother or grandmother, father, something, and it was not something for something else. It was because their heart said, I want to help. There is a difference. See, that's the thing, and that's how it goes. So everybody who goes to the cops about something as a matter of trying to protect their neighborhood, their family, no, you're snitching if you're involved in that stuff and you get caught and then you want to tell. That's snitching.
So you're in prison at this point, and you've already been doing time. So you were still in prison in April 2008, then, right?
Yes, I was. Right.
So tell us, how did your music get to the ears of like Kanye West and Frank Ocean and Rick Ross, and how did the Numero group even find you? Like, and you were in prison. Like, how did that come about?
Well, first of all, everybody, when they Rob Sevier and folks were looking for me, everybody said, well, he's dead. And so the search, but there was this wonderful guy named Thomas Murphy. He lives out in California now. He was the person who owned our recording studio and brought me in his studio, and where the fee was $25 an hour. After I paid the first $75, he said, "You don't have to pay anything from now on. You just come in here and record as often as you want to." So for a long period, for about 2 or 3 years, he just allowed me to come in our recording studios and record stuff. Well, for the 30 years, he carried the master tapes around with him in his briefcase and was trying to pitch it to anybody who would listen. And so no matter what, every time he would do recording for Sister Sledge, the DeBarge, whoever, can I introduce you to this guy that, he got this one album, and I think that his music was ahead of his time. Would you listen to it? Well, Rob Severe of the Numero Group said, "Well, let me see what you got." And so they listened to it and contacted me while I was in prison in April and said, "Look, if we would you allow us to reissue your record? We can get you a whole new audience." And the wonderful thing about that, and people are flabbergasted when I tell them this, we did that without a contract. To this day, there was not a contract on that. We had a gentleman's agreement that ultimately got my music nominated for 3 Grammy Awards.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you get paid too?
So
did they put money in your books or put money aside or have something waiting on you when you got out or something?
Well, Mama didn't raise no food. Now I didn't.
You ain't have a whole corporation on the street corner to not know what to do. I got you.
but watch this here. It turned out that the black publisher that I was working with, he died. And so a lot of stuff was caught up in his estate, and his sister had been collecting my royalties for almost 40 years. And so when we, believe it or not, we just ran down all the particulars in February of this year to get the record straight, so that like by the first of next year, I should be receiving my just due in royalties. So it's just like with everything else with patients. But I also got to say, while we're talking about this, because I want to say this even before too much time goes up. When I came home in September of 2016, I had a coming home concert on November the 19th of that year. That was my deceased son's birthday. And then Karen Carlisle, Pastor Karen Carlisle, came to that concert, and she brought Will Brady with him, says, maybe we can get this guy to join us so that we can help in our fight against mental health, homelessness, and mental health. So they came to the concert, gave me their pitch. I was supposed to call her, but I lost her card. So it wasn't until the next concert in May of 2017 that she came to that and says, look, we would like for you to play with our group. We're a little small group, and we're not what you're used to, but we would like for you to work with us because we're trying to promote mental health wellness, and we've got 11 houses in the city where we've got people housed with mental health issues, and they would otherwise be homeless. Well, from that time, that's how I ended up joining the William Brady Band. And since 2017, the music we've been playing primarily has benefited people who have mental health issues and are homeless. And again, my sister, Pastor Karen Carlisle, that's her passion, to make sure that those people have a roof over their heads. So when you heard us playing at that party, everybody there, the host, was making a contribution toward the battle for homelessness with mental health. So I had to slide that in there, and I actually became the spokesperson for the William Brady Band. And so it wasn't about me anymore. It was about that particular purpose, and that's why even the Most High God allowed you to hear what we were doing, so that we could have a moment like this where I could be able to tell you that part, because it was the band that you were looking at anyway. And, I just happened to be the instrument that was connected to the purpose, to another purpose, because you were looking at the William Brady Band. You were looking at how Mitty was out there singing the Master Blaster jamming. Yeah, you were looking at the lights on Drew's guitar. So that's what, and that beyond everything else is take home out of this moment, out of everything else, is that even with what's happened with me, I'm not Tupac. It's not about all eyes on me this time around, even though the interview is with me. It was about the William Brady Band that got your attention. And so I am not going to steal their thunder, so to speak, right?
No. But I was going to give them, they're going to get my hope is to be able to get each one of your band members in for an interview, so the audience, so the listeners can know who they are. And we actually had, and so when we interview each one, they'll be able to tell their background story or what brought them to the William Brady Band. Yeah. But I want you to send me a song. What's that? Is it JIOP mix? What is that? Or JLOP mix? What is that?
JIOP would stand for Jehovah is on point.
All right.
Is that by the William Brady Band, or is that with you with a different band at a different time?
That's me. That's me. That's I have an entire album on the way out. It's been sitting for a while, waiting for everything to for Numero to do the pressing, for me to get all of the credits and everything aligned. But it's a 14-song album. And G-Op is the only song on the album that use more than me as a musician. On the entire album, I'm playing all the instruments, the drums, the bass, the everything. I'm doing all the background vocals. And you haven't heard it yet. I'll send some of that to you.
That'll be good.
Did you see the video called Wish?
Actually, so for those of you who are listening, because we have listeners that are all over the United States and the world, actually. And so I put the link in with the podcast. So once we upload it to iHeartRadio, Spotify, all the different places that it goes once this interview is over, they'll be able to click on the link and see some of those videos. So I got a chance to kind of glance at it a little bit, but once the interview is over, I'll be able to go back and really, hone in on all of it, but all the listeners can too. So for those of you who are at the sound of our voice, if you go to the bio area, you'll be able to click on those links, and those links will lead you to the YouTube videos that Mr. Whiteside provided. Right. So let's take a quick break, and let's play that mix that you sent. And then I kind of want to jump back and understand about the Universal Support Network that you created in 2013. Sure. But let's go ahead and play this music. So we're going to take a quick break.
We'll take a quick break. We're going to get into your song right here. We just, on the move, unscripted.
Let's get that.
All right. All right.
That was very soothing, very relaxing. Like, I could listen to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, on a day when I just don't want to hear nobody saying nothing. I just want some smooth, roller coaster type music.
The instrumentation on that was awesome.
Yeah, so you have tuned in to another episode of On the Move Unscripted, and we are interviewing one of the members of the William Brady Band, Mr. Norman B. Whiteside, and that was a mix that was his mix.
Right.
So that just lets you know how fly he is.
Yeah.
But let's bring him back in.
Yeah, so we got an up and coming album that's coming up right there as well. So you guys look out for that.
So,
Yes.
Mr. Norman, how if somebody wanted to hire your band, the William Brady Band, to actually come out and do an event or do a performance or a private party the way that you did when I saw you, how would they get in touch with y'all? Like, is there a website or a phone number?
Right now, all you have to do is call 614-456-7697. There is a line where they respond consolidated businesses. You just let somebody know. This is the band. It on that you let them know leave your name, your number, and the location, the date, and the time of your event, and you'll be contacted promptly about the band's availability. And as you may know, the band plays for churches, birthday parties, private parties, weddings, art shows, and many other events, okay? So sometimes because it's a multifaceted and it has many members, Mr. Brady and I, with Pastor Karen Carlisle, are probably the core. In other words, if you don't see anybody else, you'll see us too. We might have Rufus Wilson on the guitar. Might have Eddie. I forget Eddie's name right off. But he uses about 50 musicians all over the state. They come from he even used people like Craig Robinson, who, as you know, plays for Lakeside. Sometimes Ron Henderson, who also plays for Lakeside, and Mike Snakebite Roberts, who was with Rick James. So he uses a lot of different people. So you might say, well, my event only calls for some light jazz, and we only need 3 people. It will probably be Will, myself, and Priscilla Woodson. If they say, well, we want something like a romantic evening, they'll bring in Louis Lamont Booker, who everybody calls Columbus, Ohio's Luther Vandross, because he has all the little Luther tricks. Then if we want some rapping, then we'll bring in Dink, Demetrius Cantrell, who also plays, and then like Steve Pollard with the Columbus Hot Boys. So whatever you need for the occasion, you're going to have William Brady on drums. I'm typically going to be on keys and co-vocals, but I get out of the way for people like Mitty, Priscilla, and Lewis. And then that's generally how you do it. But just call that number and be sure to leave your name, number, the location, date, and time of the event, and you'll be contacted promptly. Again, that number is 614-456-7697. It's an continuous answering line so that you don't, so that we're always able to keep track of who called.
Well, I will say this. We witnessed y'all in motion, and it was awesome and amazing. And definitely, if you are someone who you have a private event or you have a private party or something going on and you want a live band, I would definitely highly recommend the William Brady Band, because they were awesome and amazing. The way that it's like when it was light outside, they was rolling. When it got dark, they brought out the lights with on the guitar and everything, and it was just awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
Y'all did a great show, and Mrs. Mitty did an awesome job. She knew how to follow y'all, and she just rocked with it. Like, I absolutely loved it. So before the show, because we're kind of coming towards the end of the interview time, but before we do, I definitely want to go back, and I want to understand, because when I was reading your bio, you said that you had gone up for probation a few times, and when they denied you, you decided to create the Universal Support Network. So tell us real quick, what is that?
Well, I went to the parole board, and this when I had been flopped or been continued for the 15th time on Christmas Eve 2012. I went before the parole board members who said, well, Mr. Whiteside, guess what? We're going to give you a good Christmas present. Instead of us giving you the 5 years we're going to give you 3 more years. And so in January of 2013, I appeared. I was the last face on the front cover of the other magazine, the other newspaper. And the other newspaper was the other newspaper that outside of the Dispatch in Columbus. I did the last article. I was the front page of the last article. In February of 2013, I got with my cousin, Deslene's Weaver, and told him, I said, look, I'm tired of this stuff. I said, we got to figure out a different strategy to fight these people. I cannot be a business partner, because if you're establishing a business while you're in prison, then they'll put you in a hole for having a business operations. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to go to the Secretary of State. I want you to register this name, Universal Support Network, okay? I want you to list yourself as the president. My brother Douglas is going to be the vice president. The woman who was sponsoring me at this time, Karen Timmis, I said I need her to be the secretary treasurer. And so what we're going to do, we're going to use the Gideon principle. That is where the Lord took Gideon, one person, and made him look like he was 300,000 people. And I said, so we're going to take a small group of people, and we're going to make them look like 100,000 people. So that's what we did. We took a small number of people and started this organization. And so what I would do is I would send the instructions out in the mail, and then everybody would follow the instructions. The next thing you know, I said, now we've got to have one big event. I said, here's what we want to do. We want to go stand in front of the parole board on Christmas Day. They said, why Christmas Day? I said, because anybody that would give up the one day of the year that everybody celebrates, if you would sacrifice that day, then something's going on. So I had people picketing in front of the parole board on Christmas Day, December 2013, and this got national attention. It got local and national attention, and so people, the parole board, the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, they had no idea that I was doing all this from behind bars. And so, so we decided we're going to do this every single year until they start, doing the right thing, not just by me, by people, period. I started a newsletter while I was working in the college area. And the newsletter, I said, I want this newsletter to have a different kind of name. So I named it the Sizzler. I wanted hot news. I didn't want the average newsletter that came out in prison where everybody put in their poetry and everything. I wanted this newsletter to be in attack mode. So so after it was established, the Universal Support Network became the most recognized parole and prison reform entity in the state of Ohio. And all of this time, and it got to the point where I was able to use the wherewithal to sue the parole board. They said, you'll never win a lawsuit against the parole board. I said, well, I'm, like they don't know their arms is too short to box with God. And so at that point, I went in there, and they could not believe that that this magistrate out of Cincinnati gave me a sweeping victory. And I told him, I said, this is what we're going to do. If my feet are touching somebody's carpet outside of this prison by September the 1st, 2016, I will drop the suit. But if you continue to try to do this thing and keep me in here, I will embarrass you for the rest of your life. I inherited the name William Susan. They say, why William Susan? Because if you break it down, it says Will Sue. I got a reputation for suing correction officers, and then I would just get them to court and just embarrass them. I would always conclude a statement that says, when we're concluded with this trial, I'm going to show you that these people are endowed with ineptitude. And then I would prove it, that a lot of the people who work in corrections.
Does the Universal Support Network, does it still help inmates today? I mean, I know you're not in prison anymore, of course. You're out and about. But is it still effective?
Yes, ma'am. I told them when I left. When they asked me, they said, like, how do you feel about leaving on September the 1st, 2006? I said, I feel like I'm leaving my family and going to visit a bunch of relatives. And since I hated penitentiary promises myself, I said, I'm telling you guys, when I get out here, I will not forget you, my brothers and sisters. To date, I have 800 people in prison that are service. I talk to them daily. I spend my life with law offices, and we try to help people who can't afford traditional lawyers who want to revisit it. So this is something that I do 7 days a week. When I'm not with the William Brady Band, also I became an ordained minister in March of 2018, and I've combined the ministry with the organization for the purpose of helping and supporting families, prisoners, and their families, because people keep talking about Black Lives Matter, George Floyd. If you could understand the atrocities and the craziness that goes on behind bars that are unchecked, and then if not you, then who? And so our organization continues. And as a matter of fact, to even streamline what you're saying, I'll send you some newsletters and keep you up on what we're doing in that regard. But I am working for every breath that the Lord gives me. I fostered that thing that my mother put in me in a song. She said, if I can help somebody as I travel along, then my living will not be in vain. And yes, so every single waking moment till the time that I lay me down to sleep, I'm thinking about my fellow prisoners. They call me. Sometimes they just want me to send them a postcard so that they can hear their name at mail call. That kind of loneliness. Sometimes they just call me and so that they can hear somebody else's voice, since their families and everybody has abandoned them. And me, myself, Desi Weaver, Karen Tim, we let them know we are here for you. As long as we've got money, as long as we've got air to breathe. When you call, if we can, we're going to accept your call. We're going to talk to you. We're going to pray with you. We're going to give you some sense to let you know you are not by yourself, and you will not be abandoned by the Universal Support Network.
So I used to be a nurse in the jail system. When I lived in Georgia, I worked at Clayton County Jail and I worked at Fulton County Jail. So I definitely understand what you're saying, because it is a completely different world in prison versus, outside. It's like completely different. You know what I'm saying? They got completely different rules and regulations. And the crazy thing is, a lot of times, the prisoners know what the people have done before they even come in. Like, they already know, a lot about, the crimes and different stuff like that, and they have their own little system on how they deal with it in the prison. So I definitely understand that. So for those who have family members who are in prison right now, and they need that, and or friends or people they know, and they need that kind of support system, because I understand, like, even when I was in the military, basic training, you want to hear your name called for mail and stuff like that. Like, that is true, because it's like you feel isolated. Excuse me, my daughter made me babysit her cat, and this kitten is working my background. But how can they get in touch with someone or you, or, tell them the website and how they can get in touch with the Universal Support Network?
If you look at the Church of Universal Support and Truth, if you just like it sounds, Church of Universal Support and Truth, you Google that. It will show you. It will automatically, it'll come up. The first thing that will come up is the emblem that looks like Superman, and it says Universal Support Network, and then follow it will come up the Church of Universal Support and Truth. If you click on history, it'll tell you about me and how I got started and all this kind of stuff. You can look at the newsletter. You can look at what it is that we try to do. You contact me if you're in Ohio, and you've got somebody in Ohio that is having a difficult time in some kind of circumstances. If it's a legitimate concern, we will check it out, and they know us. They know us in the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections in Ohio. Now, that doesn't include other states, because we don't know that much about their policies and their procedures in other states. But when it comes down to what's going on in Ohio, and then we have looked outside of Ohio for stuff like that, but it causes us to have to learn what the policies are in that particular state. But go to that website.
So the website, we have it pulled up. We have the website pulled up. It's Church of USA. What is that?
USAT.
Churchofusat.com, right?
Right.
Yeah.
www.churchofusat.com.
Right. That's right. Now just simply stands for Church of. And you can use the email that's at C like cat, A like Adam, N like Nelly, D like David, T like Tom, R like Robert, U, T like Tom, H like Henry, 30@gmail. That's Can Truth, and that stands for the Church of Universal Support and Truth at Gmail. So there's several ways.
You also have a Facebook program, right? You have a Facebook program called Perception is Reality. So that's something they can find you on Facebook too.
Yeah, and that's getting ready to get cranked up, because I'm kind of do what kind of what you're doing on a YouTube level, right? I'm trying to make some stuff happen, and so for whatever Jehovah allows me to do, whatever He allows me to do, I'm going to be at it as much as I can. By and through His Son Jesus, by the power of the Holy Spirit, and all the wonderful angels that they use to dispatch around me to make sure that I keep on doing what I do.
Come on now. So, if we're coming towards the end of the interview, can you please tell them how they can, any social media, any shout-outs, anything that you want, and also after you do that, what are some words of encouragement or advice within, a couple of minutes, because we know you can get on in there. Tell us, what words of advice or encouragement do you have for an artist, that's trying to make it, or for someone who's in jail who their goal is still to get into this, or, into this type of music? Like, what advice do you have? Just whatever God puts in your heart. But first, do your shout out.
Remember you. My shout out is always first to the Most High, Jehovah God, His Son, Jesus by that blood, and the Holy Spirit and those angels, just like I said. So my first shout out is always going to be there. And to everybody else who was kind enough to tune into this program, I see what they are doing. So my shout out, even in that regard, is the hope that you will support what this On the Move movement, because it appears to be something that helps. If you're going to be a musician, the thing is, it's a hard business. It's an ugly business. And the whole thing is if you want it bad enough, never give up. Just remember, you may not be Alicia Keys. You may not be Aretha Franklin. You may not make it. But goals aren't always meant to be reached. There's something to aim at. Aim high and keep aiming until it's all over. It's like the old folks back says in the Southern Times. They said, stay in the field until the war is ended. So stay in the field until the war is ended.
Oh, yeah. I felt that right there. Definitely appreciate you coming on the air with us. Norman V. Whiteside, do remember the name. J-O-P is the song. J-I-O-P was up for that mix right there. When is that new, your new album going to be released as well? Is that for this year or for next year?
The same people who contacted me in 2008, I'm waiting on Rob Severe to do some things. And it's not entirely his fault. It's that I've been spending more time with this prisoner stuff than I have with the music. I mean, I do everything in terms of priority. So Jehovah's going to arrange it in time for me to do. And, like, all I'm going to say is stay tuned. I believe you might enjoy it. And I'll give you all a sample of it. You too, Miss Patricia and Mr. Ken. I'll give y'all a sample of it, so that y'all can see what's coming, okay?
Well, we appreciate you so much, Mr. Whiteside, for stopping by, for sharing some of your history with us. I know it's hard sometimes to go back and have to talk about that different stuff, but I love how you took a negative situation and turned it into a positive. And, yeah, here on Move Unscripted, our goal is to support the independent movement, the independent music, the independent musicians, the ones out there, that may not be mainstream. Our goal is to connect the artwork with the person so you know who it is. You don't just hear the music, but you understand who they are and where they came from. Right. So I love that you were willing to come and talk about yourself and how you became a member of the William Brady Band. That makes me understand the band a little bit more. I'm really looking forward to interviewing. We are looking forward to interviewing some of the other members of the band and letting them tell their story as well. Right. But your story was, you were the first. I walked up to you first. You were, I was dancing right by you and when the song ended, you was like the first one, you know what I'm saying, that I walked to, not really knowing who was in charge or whatever, but it didn't matter to me. I just loved the band. So it's good that we were able to interview one of the important members of the band and see how y'all came together. And definitely, hopefully a lot of people here in Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio, I'm guessing you go out to Cleveland, Cincinnati, and all those different places in Ohio. Are you willing to go to other states as well? Have you been out of Ohio to perform the William Brady Band?
Yes, we have. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So that means they're willing to travel wherever. And I'm telling you, the band is worth it. You really should have been at the Red Fest. I don't know. Y'all should have been up there because y'all would have had it going on. Oh, my goodness. Y'all are that good, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And you hear just his skill alone. Right. When we played the mix, that's just his skill. Imagine all of them together, y'all. They was bomb diggity. I appreciate you so much. For coming on the Move Unscripted. We wish you nothing but success. Definitely would love to come out and see y'all again, or whatever, at another event or time or whatever. So definitely keep us posted. And what's the phone number, once again, that they can reach out to y'all if they want to hire the band?
That'd be 614-456-7697. And remember, when you call that number, It's always going to be a recording because that's how we'll be able to track and keep whoever it's calling. So be sure to leave your name, your number, the location, date, and time of the event, and somebody will contact you promptly about the band's availability. Probably Mr. Brady himself.
Awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome and amazing.
No doubt about it.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for letting me talk about the William Brady Band and all the wonderful people who make it is what it is.
All right. There it is.
That was the Bob Diggity.
It really was.
Bob Diggity interview. Definitely, when I say that they turned out like I wish we could have had, like a snippet of the whole band and what they sound. But I did put it on Facebook because I took some video of them performing. So definitely you can go to the Atlanta Music, MUZIC, the Atlanta Music Industry group on Facebook, and you can check it out when I posted, about today's show or whatever. But that was awesome and amazing. So what's up with Saturday? Are you rolling back? Because we be taking our little breaks. We having fun this summer, y'all. Don't be stressing us.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be back on the air Saturday. Well, it's probably gonna be the following Saturday if we're gonna go look at some bands. We're gonna shoot over there to the Savoy out here in Columbus. We are looking for some bands to listen. We're actually looking for cover artists as well. So we're going to have some more shows. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing some interviews that's coming up with some artists that we're working with out there in North Carolina, and a few other artists coming out of Atlanta as well that we're going to be talking to. So those things, we're going to have some interviews coming up. Always going to have new music because I'm trying to prepare for the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, which is coming up in August. So, yeah.
And definitely, if you are a band here in Ohio, Columbus, Cleveland, wherever you are, we do have a client that is looking to hire a band for Labor Day.
Right.
So you can reach out to onthemoveshow@hotmail.com, or you can reach out to Mr. Stout, Kenneth Stout 71 at gmail.com. That's Bob Diggity, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, guess what? We're getting married.
Oh yeah. Radio wifey.
Yeah, radio wifey is about to turn into the real wifey. How about that?
That's why in Columbus.
But we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and checking us out. So definitely go and, when you get an opportunity, go back and listen to the show. Yeah. Write down the support numbers. Also, if you want to hire them, 614-456-7697. It's definitely worthwhile. He said it's going to be a recording, so leave your information.
Right, and I also did post up on Atlanta Music Industry Group, the Church of USAT.com, so you can get the information from that as well, and you can see the whole story about Norman Whiteside himself as well.
Yeah, that's awesome that he supports the inmates and stuff, because he's right. Like, it's a whole different world in prison. Sometimes when them gates used to close behind me when I used to go in, I used to feel it. You know what I'm saying? And so they need that support. They need those letters and all those things, that whatever kind of support, they really, what they call it, the little like bags of gifts and commissary. They live for that kind of stuff. Like, that is their life, So definitely reach out to him if you know someone who is having to do some time and they don't really have the support, or if you're someone who you're listening, because I don't know how y'all get them cell phones in jail, but if you're listening right now and you need to get in touch with him, you can go to the website. What's the website?
Church of USAT. So it's like Church OFUSAT, Universal Support and Truth. So it's Church of USAT.com, and you get Church of Universal Support and Truth. Like I said, when you do go to the website, you'll see there's a logo that looks like a Superman logo.
Yeah, and a lot of times you need that inspiration and encouragement to get you through when you are going through a rough time. And I know that, being incarcerated for a long period of time can really put a strain on your mental and your emotional and your spiritual. So you need those kind of support systems. So for anyone, like once again, who someone is in jail right now or headed their way there or whatever, definitely offer that to them or send them that way or whatever. And for those of you who you are incarcerated, we understand things happen in life. We all make bad decisions, or we all sometimes get blamed for stuff that it's not we didn't even do and all that kind of stuff. But the point is that's over and done. You're doing your time. When you come out, society needs to stop judging you for what you did back then because you've already served your time. Yeah. So I really hope that they get the laws together where they help more people who are coming out of jail get jobs and just really get back to life and stop just punishing them for another 20 and 30 years for something they've already paid their time for. Some people, they're in and out, and it takes them a long time to get it. But some will get in there, they'll do their 7 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever, and they'll come out and they'll be ready to change their life. But society don't want to give them that opportunity. Right. So organizations like the Universal Support Network is there for you. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all. Until next time. So I don't know. We'll probably come on next week.
I'm going to have some people that want to have actually reach out to us as well. So we're going to definitely do some stuff next week, guys.
But we got another interview. So we're definitely looking for moderators to assist with the Atlanta Music Industry Group because, I got a lot going on in our work. So sometimes it becomes overwhelming for me, and I have some moderators, but we're always looking for more. And we have one that actually, Mr. Terrence J. Bennett. He's actually just became one, and he's got a lot going on, too. I think it's Terrence J. Bennett Sr.
Okay,
that's his name.
The DJ Coalition.
Yes, with the DJ Coalition. And then also he does something with Hype Magazine, and I saw where he does some stuff with, what's the one that always telling everybody? TMZ?
Okay.
They always he does stuff with he's bringing a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge and stuff to the Atlanta Music Industry Group. So that's what's up,
No
so we're always looking for more. Like I said, you can reach out to Mr. Stout, KennethStout71@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on the Move Show at hotmail.com, or you can go to Facebook and send us a message.
Right.
Atlanta Music Industry Group.com, and we also have Ohio Music Industry Group. That music is spelled regular with Ohio Music Industry, but we're always promoting. This is what we do. This is what we love to do. Right. And even though we're both artists ourselves, we understand that for the movement to move, we have to unite.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The indie revolution is here, y'all, and it will be televised.
Come get some of that.
Come get some.
Let's turn up.
Oh, hold on. We got somebody on the line.
What you got, man?
Let me, before we hang up, this person, they didn't get to speak.
Who we got?
You came in at the tail end on the Move Unscripted. What's your name? Where you calling from? They ain't called. They still ain't ready.
Well, thanks for listening in, and definitely check us out next week as well, 8 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let me turn up on the Move Unscripted.
Until next time, y'all.
All right, guys. Peace out.
I Buddy Love. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
Slide to the left, slide to the right. If it ain't trail ride, we ain't riding tonight. Slide to the left, slide to the right. If it ain't trail ride, we ain't riding tonight. Party ain't a party like a trail ride party, 'cause the trail ride party don't stop. Big Steve in the building, you can call it horse business. This is not your average walk around the block. Trail ride, giddy up, cowgirl, giddy up. Trail ride, giddy up, cowboy, giddy up. Trail ride, I'ma hop off this horse and slide on the country girl. Tell her, come on, let's ride. Trail ride, everywhere we go, it look just like a cookout. Heard the Clydesdale's coming, better look out. Got some Stalley ride with us, and it ready. She a real thoroughbred, I can tell how she stepping. All this love don't need no extra. Country love don't get no better. This Steve-O said bring that pressure. It's time to put the whole world on this. Yes, sir. Hey. Slide to the left, slide to the right. If it ain't trail ride, we ain't riding tonight. Slide to the left, slide to the right. If it ain't trail ride, we ain't riding tonight. Party ain't a party like a trail ride party, 'cause the trail ride party don't stop. Big Steve in the building, you can call it horse business. This is not your average walk around the block. Trail ride, giddy up, cowgirl, giddy up. Trail ride, giddy up, cowboy, giddy up. Trail ride, I'ma hop off this horse and slide on the country girl. Tell her, come on, let's ride. Trail ride, Jack and Jill went up the hill and had them a good old time. Jack fell down and broke his crown and left little Jill behind. I pulled up on her like, ride with us, cowgirl. Ride with us, trail ride. Ride with us, cowboy. Ride with us, trail ride. Slide to the left, slide to the right. If it ain't trail ride, we ain't riding tonight. Slide to the left, slide to the right. If it ain't trail ride, we ain't riding tonight. Party ain't a party like a trail ride party, 'cause the trail ride party don't stop. Big Steve in the building, you can call it horse business. This is not your average walk around the block. Trail ride, giddy up, cowgirl, giddy up. Trail ride, giddy up, cowboy, giddy up. Trail ride, I'ma hop off this horse and slide on the country girl. Tell her, come on, let's ride. Trail ride.
When I made mistakes and I see your face empty, when you walk away and I don't wanna face my fears, but all you want is a simple thing to tell you how I feel. I hide behind my pride and I just got to keep it real. I shout it to the world. I shout it to the world. And here I stand, a broken man, to tell you how I feel. I shout it to the world. Well, it's gone too long, but it hasn't gone too far. Do we get along, or do we get that part? And all you want is to hear your name and that's not much to ask. If the raindrops fall, if the heavens call, the good outweighs the bad. I shout it to the world. I shout it to the world. And here I stand, a broken man, to tell you how I feel. I shout it to the world. And all you want is a simple thing, and that's not much to ask. Till the raindrops fall, heaven calls, the good outweighs the bad. I shout it to the world. I shout it. Yeah. I shout it to the world. I shout it. And here I stand, a brand new man, to tell you how I feel. I shout it to the world. I shout it. Where do we go when our waves come to rock the boat? Drifting far away to a better place for all of us. Every other day we try to make our way on God's green earth. I'm tired of dying, crying, them lying to us. We're fighting for love. So I run, I run, I run, I run, I
My childhood, wild hood, less but good. Independent with a blessing, I manage around wolves. Presence of recession, I manage push pull. That's why I drop jewels, that's why I wanna pull. Backyard, black card, yeah, we love the ball. Never back down, you found with the dot for. Going through the doors, Forbes, never hold up. I want it all up, favorite places they yelling, hola, hola. Teamwork, make the dream work. Ran a drop cord, made sure the lights work. Thanks to the neighbor, no heat, but the stove work. Casting that on my net, increase my network. Go the extra mile, make mom smile. Be home before the streets make the gun sound. Round here don't back down, shots of Mac rounds. Dribble basketballs on the backs of crack valves on the ground. Sitcom and watch sitcoms. Daddy smoked the reefer, mama played Aretha. Had all the new tech, heard the text from sleep. Be the man of respect, dad's lesson to keep. Through my window pane, seen the Liberty statue. Can talk about it now, reach my limited statue. My father was gone, all night in the streets. Came back with gifts, never had receipts. Can't imagine what you gave up, thankful you never gave up. 2 marriages, 2 miscarriages. God chose me, one of 3. Back against the wall, didn't lay on your back. We slept on the floor, dad never came back. Few clothes, no bed, no dresser. New homes, gate combs, we fresher. A boy in the nightlife, dead bodies cross my eyesight. Streets gave me insight. Black pocket knife for them fist fights on sight. We was immature, always let the drama in. Sipping bottles like Mike's, gripping Heinekens. Left my ghetto prison, became a ghetto prison. I'm enough, had enough of the system. Recuse myself, no place in blame, playing victim. Different world, the Wayne found Whitney. I came by referral, God's blessings came with me. Love, educate, repeat, you stuck with me. Malik boy 11, thank God you roll with me. My mind at a state the government can't tax. My grind at a rate I can't relax. I stand here, fight no flight. It's strength and endurance, right? I run for those who can't, right?
Be yourself on the beat.
I'm alone on this island, it's just me. And my phone stay on silent, let it ring. My past is behind me, can't even see it. My path has enlightened me to leave it. I said that I ain't gonna give in, how about that? Play my part, do it well, just like that. Not on the map, ain't no telling where I'm at. And as I leave, there's no need for coming back. And I knew that this would take me very far. I made my way to calmer waters without no car. Where is that? There it go. There it go. There it go. There it go. All this trauma only made me wanna rise. Way too much drama, I need balance in my life. I stay focused, you can see it in my eyes. I see karma for what it is and no disguise. It's okay, I found my way as I travel through temples. Separate from the brain, but it's all in the mental. Runaways, get away, okay, I'll be that example. What's that feeling like when you score, but you stay in the end zone? No God to tell you that I'm God, but I'm not man upstairs. I thought myself into existence and then I appeared. I'm so determined, I aim to flourish, strength and courage. I made it here, no looking back and I deserve it. I said that I ain't gonna give in, how about that? Play my part, do it well, just like that. Out on the map, ain't no telling where I'm at. And as I leave, there's no need for coming back. And I knew that this would take me very far. I made my way to calmer waters without no car. Where is that? There it go. There it go. There it go. There it go.
love again. Yeah.
If I send the address to you to my crib, you should already know what it is. I ain't got that good D, you know that for sure. I don't love, got one foot in one mouth the door. After don't talk nasty, I'm gon' want more. Can't take this seriously. Yeah, remember, keep your feelings under your feet when you back it up. 'Cause I don't wanna waste your time. Don't wanna play with your mind. Good sex can make you go crazy. Emotions can end this ride. You can tell me that that thing is all mine. If it take you there, go ahead and take that flight. Don't get attached to me, baby. It's one night, one night, one. Don't tell me I got the best sex while we laying and you drawing on my chest. Treat this like magnets, girl. Don't get attached. Don't call or text me unless I insist. We can't do nothing, can't be more than this. Can't take this seriously. Remember, keep your feelings under your feet when you back it up. 'Cause I don't wanna waste your time. Don't wanna play with your mind. Good sex can make you go crazy. Emotions can end this ride. You can tell me that that thing is all mine. If it take you there, go ahead and take that flight. Don't get attached to me, baby. It's one night, one night, one night. You know the deal. You can only get this thrill from me one night. So bust it, bust it, bust it for me. You know the deal. You can only get this feeling from me one night. So bust it, bust it, bust it for me. 'Cause I don't wanna waste your time. I don't wanna waste your time. 'Cause I don't wanna waste your time. So bust it for me.
Storyline don't make sense, but since sense can be made, I'm fighting hell in the cell, undertaking my days. I'm here to make fun, wisdom, and love, giving you access to choices, the anti-drug. I am anti-thug, but as real as they come. From the hook or the line, the bait is my tongue, which is my gun. So I keep it loaded on safety, frontin' like I'm not working. Lest you make me, let's go, trapped in my mind. Mad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my nine. Iron team, pressure that I keep applying. I am on the crease of my jeans, so I don't stop firing. Trapped in my mind. Mad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my 9-iron. Steam, press the pressure that I keep applying. I am on the crease of my jeans, so I don't stop firing. Oh snap, my mind strapped coming off the top like a shape up, or like shape up, work on my weight while I get stronger. Move northwest toward OK, see the rant play. I mind being overlooked like Kanye did for Beyonce, but it's Beyonce. I run, these MCs just walk this way. I rock all over the country to spit, so you will belong to me. No Taylor Swift, curate, Mr. Bad Habits stuck in my Maxwell. Full of talents like water, but I let both sell. My verses wholesale, but when I retail these bars beats, I charge less for better quality. Like Ali's, my process grew out so well. I'll be sure, less like Shamar Moore, more like Denzel. Washing tons of men with heightened strength. Don't let it go to your head. Create a brand new being. Man, I'm trapped in my mind. Mad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my 9. Iron steam, pressure that I keep applying. I am on the creep of my jeans, so I don't stop firing. Trapped in my mind. Mad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my 9 iron. Steam, press the pressure that I keep applying. I am on the crease of my jeans, so I don't stop firing. The beat is electric. A defeat you can bet. The Human Torch veteran, flame fantastic order fam. It's all good in the hood, so let's vominos. I take a L with ease to help my brother grow. Then put him onto HP. You compute too slow. I'm giving boots to asses to help you go. Like take life. If I take the L's with ease, I leave you with if. A conditional scheme. Take the L's with ease. From the flame I bring, you will be refined and clean, becoming fam to me by being a friend to me. You access to the king. I mean, after the deck gets cut, you on the wrong team. Spade clubbing for diamonds. I'm yelling ace check. You jokers have no heart. A sound boss in the flesh. You might renege on your life if you caught in a scheme. I self-destruct. You trying to run Boston on me. I'm trapped in my mind. Bad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my 9. Iron steam, pressure that I keep applying. I am on the crease of my jeans, so I don't stop firing. Trapped in my mind. Mad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my 9 iron. Steam, press the pressure that I keep applying. I am on the crease of my jeans, so I don't stop firing. No words for your set, so your books ain't made. Stay quiet, you have no script to be filled today. I'm sick, but I'm healing you so much. You healing like you about to fall backwards from them words I spring on you. Late night jump on you like you in the dark with sparks fly. That's the cost of human chalk. No hawk eye smash in my mind. My spinal fluid leak in a nuisance, insatiable nuisance. Kicking lazy bones out of harmony with the joint I'm on. So to right my wrongs, I take what's left to write these songs. It's an internet that reels me in the unholy alliance of a fisher of men and a wisher of gain again. Till I put down my pen behind bars. The metal I grip, indiscreet with an arsenal of weaponry to rebel with. Till you catch me in the trap again. It's a rap, but still trapped in my mind. Bad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my 9. Iron steam, pressure that I keep applying. I am on the creep of my jeans, so I don't stop firing. Trapped in my mind. Mad, random metaphors cause me to reach for my 9 iron. Steam, press the pressure that I keep applying. I am on the crease of my jeans.